Another challenge is in a context of change, and we will see this with the next question with upcoming challenges, is dealing with reluctance to change, so different mentalities within operators, how to overcome these barriers, and also very important, dealing with disruptions, the importance of better understanding failure modes and recovery from failure. So this naturally led to the second question. These are today's challenges. So we discussed in our table also what can be new challenges that we will have to face in the coming years. So I will try to give you a snapshot of these two. First point mentioned was the geopolitical situation. We are living, let's say, turbulent times, and in geopolitical terms. So that may lead, for example, to different relationship between Europe and the US, for example. Do we need to be more autonomous in terms of technology? So do we really have the ability to be, let's say, independent technology-wise, right? So that's one challenge that may arise in the coming years. Artificial intelligence, of course, that's ubiquitous, and that was raised by many people around the table. So the challenge of trusting or having, let's say, reliable AI solutions, but also the challenge of AI shaping or changing the way we think. In a way, there will be, or people feel that there may be a loss of certain cognitive abilities because AI is doing the job for us. So a challenge is to still have people that can understand the big picture of the business and make the right decision in the end. This links also to the question of responsibility sharing in this new context, right? Who is responsible for what? What is AI responsible for? What are humans responsible for? On a more futuristic tone, one person in the group also mentioned a future where we have transportation robots or personal assistants or personal robots that are, in a way, they're already today, right? We are all using ChatGPT to find things out and to write documents and to learn new things, right? But this will become more and more integrated with our daily activities. So operators will have to interact not only with the passenger and with people, but also with people's robots or people's virtual assistants or artificial assistants. Another challenge is anticipating future skills. We are living times of fast change. So it's very difficult to plan for what will happen in 5 or 10 years. How can we anticipate these needs and prepare our people for that? On a more strategic level, strategic alliances or strategic partnerships between operators from different transport modes is also a challenge, and how to shape this in this new context. And we also try to summarize this in the end with the need to shift from so-called airport management mode to total transfer management, or to managing, let's say, the full door-to-door travel chain. The third question was, what do we need, right? What do we need in terms of resources? What do we need in terms of new skills? We need investment. We need investment in funding to develop new technologies that basically address these current and future challenges that we discussed before. So we need to develop data sharing platforms and AI algorithms that built on top of this can make the most of this data. I mean, data is the fuel for artificial intelligence, right? So we need to develop the right tools in a data-rich environment as transportation. We need also the right regulatory and legal incentives for promoting a more integrated view of the passenger journey. So again, integrated ticketing, contracts, etc. We need to understand decision-making responsibilities in this new context where part of responsibilities somehow delegated to AI or to automation. And finally, the key point here, and then the point that was raised by most people, is the need for new skills, right? For data literacy, for knowledge also for the transport modes. There is a need for understanding the vocabulary. If we are going to coordinate between aviation and rail and local public transport, we need to understand the language spoken by others to reach a common understanding. So that's also a matter of training and personal skills. What else? This is me again not understanding what I wrote. Let me see. Yeah, also training on how to deal with failure situations and let's say fallback or let's say disruptive events, right? And finally, KPIs. This was nice because there were two groups on operational experience, and each group focused or approached this question in a slightly different manner. In the group I was chairing, we focused more on KPIs. The other group focused more on measurement instruments or how to better measure certain KPIs. So first, what KPIs do we need, or what KPIs can be used to measure the impacts, or hopefully positive impacts of intermodal coordination, multimodality? So, of course, the usual ones. I mean, there is no need for reinventing the wheel. There are KPIs that we still want to measure and see how intermodality improves environmental impact or societal impact or capacity, etc. But then we also discussed a number of more specific KPIs that can give us some hints on how well intermodality is working. One is let the market speak, right? The market share of intermodal options will tell us if they are working well, right? If passengers are choosing multimodal options versus monomodal options, it's because intermodality is working. Then there is a need for more technical KPIs, let me say, that take this door-to-door perspective. So what does punctuality mean when we are talking of intermodal travel, right? We are used to have punctuality KPIs that are, I don't know, linked to aircraft departure time, but this is useless if we are thinking of an intermodal trip, right? It's a necessary but not sufficient condition, so we need to measure, really link this to the total travel time from door to door, number of successful transfers or number of missed transfers. Intermodality is not working if passengers are missing a significant number of transfers, and also connecting time between modes. Finally, also important to incorporate some resilience KPIs. That can be one of the contributions of multimodality, making the network more resilient because we have more options. We have possibility of rerouting passengers probably under certain scenarios. So the need to come up with KPIs, for example, recovery times, etc., to define the right metrics to properly measure resilience. That's in terms of KPIs. And last point, in terms of measurement instruments or ways of improving the way we measure some necessary indicators. There was a discussion about the sharing of location through location-based services, GPS location sharing by passengers, so that operators can say track or have a full situational awareness of where passengers are from the beginning to the end of the trip, and make better decisions, more efficient decisions based on this situational awareness. And another point that was raised, it's a more qualitative KPI, but it's the level of I would say or how broad stakeholder engagement is, operator engagement is in the development of new technologies, right? If we have more stakeholders involved from the beginning, we will make sure that these technologies and these intermodal concepts are more acceptable, and we will increase let's say the impact and the buy-in. So I guess that summarizes pretty much what was discussed in both tables. I hope I didn't forget anything. In any case, I guess we will translate this into some summary notes that will be distributed after the session. So thank you.